Okay, so we said that the converse, okay, means that we're switching, right? Okay, so the converse means we're switching the hypothesis, and I'm going to abbreviate, and conclusion. Okay, you need to remember that we're switching. It's this one. We're switching the hypothesis and the conclusion. So each one of these postulates and theorems, again, are the converse of what we did last time. Okay? What we just reviewed was I gave you two parallel lines and you told me whether the angles were congruent or supplementary. Okay? Now these postulates, for example, corresponding angles postulate. Notice that in this picture, there's no mark that these lines are parallel. Okay? That's not given to you. But they did tell you that angle 2 and 6 are congruent. Well, if 2 and 6 are congruent, then L and M have to be parallel. Does everybody see how that's the converse of what we did last time? Yes? Yes? Okay. So in the name of the postulate is just the relationship of these angles. You know these names, hopefully, by now. Okay, so as long as you know the names, then you know the postulates. Okay? So let's go down. Let's look at the next one. Okay. Converse of the alternate interior angles theorem. So alternate interior angles are congruent. So if I know that 4 and 6 are congruent, then L and M are parallel. Everybody see kind of the pattern, what we're doing? We're going to practice this just in a second. Okay? This one's same side, so 3 and 6 are supplementary. The measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 6 equals 180. So L and M are parallel. And then the alternate exterior, we're back to congruent again. So if 1 and 7 are congruent, then L and M are parallel again. Again, just the converse of what we did last time. Okay. So let's look at this page. Now those theorems and postulates are just for your viewing pleasure, okay? So you need to know those. You need to know the names and you need to know the relationships. Okay, so let's look at this picture. So notice in this picture, okay, that there are no marks that says what lines are parallel. So as soon as you see that picture, you know that we're talking about the converse of all the four theorems. Okay, so let's look at. I'm going to make this smaller. Let's look at the first one. So it tells me that angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent. It wants to know which lines are parallel. Okay, 1 and 2 are congruent.
A and B. Lines A and B.
Yes. Okay. So 1 and 2 are congruent. So the easiest way to do this is to draw, because it's confusing because there's 4 lines. When we're doing this, you're going to have 2 parallel lines and a transversal. You've got to figure out which one's the transversal and which ones are the parallel lines. Okay, so draw in, I'm going to draw in the lines that those angles touch. This guy, and then this guy. Okay, so I'm drawing those in. So which 2 have to be the parallel lines?
A and B.
A and B. A, Ms. Sawyers can't spell parallel, so we're going to use the sign. Remember the 2 lines like that are parallel, A and B. Does that make sense? Huh? I make it slanted because I think that because if you write it like that, it kind of looks like 2 L's, so I do slant them a little. If you see it on a test, sometimes it looks like they're straight up and down, so I'll accept either. Good question. All right, are we good with that one? What kind of angles are 1 and 2? Corresponding, thank you. All right. Let's do the next one. Okay, angle 3 and angle 8 are congruent. So I'm going to use my highlighter. Angle 3 and angle 8 are congruent.
Lines L and M. We have parallel.
I'm going to draw in the lines that are touching the ones that I've highlighted. You're right, Isaiah. I'm sorry. I just need to make sure everybody else is with us. You're thinking it's fast as you talk.
This one's like weird.
Okay? So notice that I didn't draw in B because my two angles don't touch B. It has nothing to do with B. Okay, you could even cover it up with your paper if you want to. Alright? So which two lines are parallel? L and M. L is parallel to M. Okay, you
L
can-
looks like
my cursive L.
That's Ellen.
You're hurting my feelings.
sorry.
That's as good as it's gonna get. Okay, try through 7. Everybody try through 7. If you're not sure or you're confused or you want highlighters or color pencils, we have them. If you want another piece of paper so you can redraw the lines, that's fine. Remember, you're telling me what's parallel. Okay, so 5 and 6 are supplementary. Okay, so 5 and 6 are supplementary. 5 and 6 are supplementary. So I'm going to draw in my lines that are touching angles 5 and 6. Okay, so which two lines are parallel? Okay. Okay, what about 4? What'd you get for 4? A and B. Good. I'm going to skip 5 for right now. What about 6? L and M. And 7? A and B. We're going to do that one right now. Alright, so it says 3 and 5 are congruent. What kind of angles are those? Vertical angles. So 3, I'm only drawing in the lines that those two angles touch. Is there a set of parallel lines in that picture?
No.
No. I didn't give you enough information. So it's unknown. I didn't give you enough information. Unknown.
It's very important that you get used to seeing that though. Just because all the other ones have two lines that were parallel, sometimes they're gonna ask you a question where you're gonna have to say there's not enough information, or there's an unknown set of parallel lines. Don't let that make you uncomfortable.
Yeah. All right, you can go to lunch. Yeah. Okay. You can say seven. What do you mean you didn't know the line? So you do. So 7 is 8 and 7. 8 and 7.
Now.
It's touching this line.
Now!
And it's touching this line. And this line. Up.
Where you going?
We're going to the host fair, occupational and physical therapy.
How
I'm
nice.
sorry, I'm sorry.
My daughter has a best friend who just got married.
2.
Yeah, I think
What
that's
is
what
it?
I wanted.
Okay.
It's a crazy degree though, man. Things that they have to do.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
I think it takes a saint. I'm signing for her to go on a field trip on Friday.
Is that okay?
So you're going to have to find out what you're missing. Recommended or recommended with reservations.
Okay. So. Which one
But you
are
can
doing?
look on
6?
Blackboard.
Okay. So.
Okay.
And, okay.
And 6.
And have
Alright,
it
so I'm
look
gonna
done.
draw in the lines that they're touching. It's touching this line.
Now!
Okay. So, and it's touching this line. And the 2 is touching this line. So L and. You see?
What?
It's touching this line and this line, right? And this line. Okay, so which 2 are the ones that are parallel? L
A map of the city and suburbs shows the airport located in
Oh,
25.
and
So just put
Okay?
somewhere on the map, somewhere at 25 acres. Is that okay? All that area. An ambulance is on a straight expressway headed from the airport to Pratt.
Alright, so let's look at this proof. Now, I was mean and I didn't give you a word bank, but that's okay. We're going to walk you through this. Or I will.
Is there a form for
No, you don't.
Playboys and late boys too.
Oh. Okay. So this is proving alternate interior angles converse. That's what this is proving. So we can't use alternate interior angles as one of our reasons. I just want to tell you that in advance, so nobody shout that out. Okay? All right. All right. So the first thing, remember with our proof, okay, we're going to look at what's given and what we're going to prove. Given is angle 4 and angle 6 are congruent, which is marked in our diagram, and we're proving that L is parallel to M. Okay? Now, our statements and our reasons. Now, on the test, you won't have to do one all the way through, but this is good practice, because if you could do one all the way through, the fill-in-the-blank ones will be easy. So for our statement, what should we write here for our statement, the first statement? Angle 4 is congruent to angle 6. Maybe we should draw something up, because we're going to have to give that to a 7th period, too. All right, and what's my reason? Given.
I just don't really feel like seeing it.
All right, now remember, alternate interior angles, we can't use. We can't talk about that. All right, because that's what we're proving. Okay, so if I look at this picture, what's something else you can tell me about this picture? I need another statement I can make about this picture.
Angle 2 is congruent to angle 6.
No, you don't know that yet. Yes.
Angle 2 is corresponding to angle 6.
Nope, I can't use that yet. Something else.
Did we say what angles they are?
Not yet.
Oh wait, what's next?
Yeah, the next statement. Tell me something else about that picture.
Angle,
You can't say 2 is congruent to 6 yet. I'm
angle
not
4
allowing you.
is congruent to angle 2.
Very good.
Yeah.
Angle 4 is congruent to angle 2. Why?
Because they're vertical.
Vertical angles. That's a theorem, so THM is short for theorem. All right, now if we look at these two things here, all right, angle 4 is congruent to angle 6, angle 4 is congruent to angle 2. What can you now say?
Angle 2 is congruent to angle 4.
Well, that says right here.
Angle 2 is congruent to angle 6.
Yeah, angle 2 is congruent to angle 6. And why is that?
Because they're corresponding.
No. Why is the reason here? Not the picture. What's the reason here? What did you do here to get angle 2 is congruent to angle 6?
Angle 4 is congruent
Right.
to
But
angle
what's the,
Reflects-
there's a property.
Ransom.
Substitution.
2. Substitution.
Because I substituted in 6 for 4, so I could say that 6 is congruent to 2. I substituted angle 6 in for angle 4. Okay, last thing. What should my last statement be?
L is parallel to angle M.
Right.
Or line M.
L is parallel to M. Now, what's the reason? If 2 is congruent to 6, corresponding angles
Converse.
converse. Remember, if I give you the angles and you tell me 2 lines are parallel, that's always the converse. So corresponding angles converse. Okay? Good? Okay? Love proofs? Me too. All right. Let's do some practice with the theorems. Okay? So if we look at this picture, it says, what is the value of x for which A is parallel to B?
Huh?
Okay? What is the value of x for which A is parallel to B, and state the reason? What kind of angles?
Same side interior.
2x plus 9 and 111.
Same side interior.
Same side interior. And what's special about same side interior? They're what?
Supplementary.
They're supplementary angles. I know.
Yo, this one's too slow.
Okay, they're supplementary angles, and supplementary means not Isaiah.
They equal to
Be-
180.
Be more specific. Equals to 180 isn't good enough for me.
Degree.
Andrea said, say it loud. Sum to 180. They sum to 180. What does sum mean? Huh? Addition. Sum means addition. Okay? So we're summing the angles to 180, which means I need an equation to solve for x. Bria? Bria. Brenna, sorry.
2x plus 9 plus 111
Very good. They're supplementary, so the expressions get added together and you equal them to 180. You cannot solve for x without an equation. Okay? So now we can just, yes,
How do you know there's
because they're same side interior angles. So see how this line here, okay, and this line here, cut by, and remember you can extend these lines if it's hard to see. So they're on the same side of the transversal and they're on the inside, so they're same side interior. One of the theorems says that same side interior angles are supplementary. Okay, so before you make a mistake, what's the first thing that we need to do here? Thank you. 2x plus 120 equals 180. You should be able to do the rest. I did the hard part.
X equals 30.
Oh, that's fast. Okay, so for those of you that figured out x is 30, flip the page and try the next one. For those of you that didn't get this far, call me over and I'll help you if you need help. But you should get x equals 30. Let me see.
I just did on the calculator. I just gotta have
You tell me. For the next one, what kind of angles are they? Corresponding angles, and corresponding angles are congruent, not supplementary, so it's a different problem. Then they're equal to each other. Very good. Okay. So this angle, shh, everybody back up here. These angles are what kind of angles? Corresponding. And corresponding angles are congruent. So what am I going to do to those two expressions? Equal them to each other. Guys, when you're doing these problems, shh. When you guys are doing these problems, you have two choices. Same side, you add them and equal them to 180. Everything else is equal to each other. Those are the only two options you have. So don't say it equals to 90. Don't say it equals to 360. Okay? Those are your only two options. You need to recognize those relationships. Okay? And you should have gotten W equals 19, which I saw most of you get. Okay? Everybody good with this? No? Oh. Yep. Alright, let's flip the page. I want to do a couple more like this. We'll come back to these bottom ones. Maybe next class, actually. Alright, let's look at these. Because this is kind of similar to what we were just doing. So flip the page, go to the back for me. Everybody on the back page. Quickly. Okay. I have given you the theorems. Okay, you know the relationships. They're on this first page. So I want to go through and set up some of these problems. Okay? So let's look at number 12. What type of angles are these?
Alternate exterior.
Exterior.
Alternate exterior. Does everybody see that it's alternate exterior? If you cannot tell me that it's alternate exterior, then you're not going to be able to set this up. Please tell me if you don't see it. Okay. Alternate exterior. Well, what do you know about alternate exterior? They equal each other. So what equation can I set up? Perfect. All right, now before you go and solve that, write that down, but don't solve it yet. Okay, let's look at the next one. What type of angles are these? Same side interior. What's the relationship for same side interior?
Sum equals 180.
Right, they're supplementary. They're equal to 180. So someone other than Isaiah, Cam. Yeah, Cam.
3x minus 17 plus 98 is equal to 180.
Perfect. Okay, so that's all you're doing. You're recognizing the angle, then you're setting up the equations. Now you can solve. Okay, I want to take like the next 5 minutes and do as many as you can. Okay, ready, set, go. And I'm going to give you the correct value for x, and then we need to switch gears because you've got to take a quiz in a second. Okay. All right, so 21. You should have gotten x equals 18. X equals 33.
What?
How's it 33?
I got that.
That's right.
Combine like terms, right? 3x
Minus 100.
plus 81
Oh my god, I was
negative
so
17 plus 98 is 81
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, you're right.
equals 180. You should be able to do the rest.
Yeah.
Wait, you're not supposed to add the.
Yes, you always look at the sign in front of the number. Okay?
I'll move before you cook.
Combining like terms. I'm teaching my Algebra 1 kids combining like terms, and they hate it. 2x plus 20 plus 6x plus 24 equals 180. If you don't have these, you need to write them down, okay? And you need to look at these at home. X equals 17. 3x minus 63 equals 2x plus 2. X equals 65.
Woo, I got that.
You subtract them.
I'll come back to that one. 26, 4x minus 8 plus 112 equals 180. So x equals 19. Okay, now this one. Yes. Yes. Okay, and the reason why this equals 180, there's actually no relationship. Okay, so let's highlight these. Okay, because there's that extra ugly line in there
That's confusing.
that is confusing, and it's completely irrelevant. It's simply to confuse you. Okay, so I'm going to take this and
Magic.
rewrite this. This one was 140, and this right here is 5x minus 5. Okay? Now there's no relationship. These are on the same side, but they're exterior. There's no such thing as same side exterior. But if I look, I don't want that color anymore. If 5x minus 5, what angle does it belong to up here? Like if this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. 5x minus 5 should be where? 1, 2, or 3? 2. Okay? And this right here is a linear pair. So since they're a linear pair, you would do 5x minus 5 plus 140 equals 180. X equals 9. Okay?
How do you get? I got X.
You set it up wrong. Look how it's set up.
I get confused.
It's confusing. I don't know. Like I don't know when we say equals and when we add.
Okay, again, you need to look at the diagram and know the relationships. I'm told you right here when they're equal or supplementary. If you don't know these names, you need to know the names. Okay? Yes. Okay? Alright, we need to switch gears. Everybody get out a piece of paper, please.
Everybody needs to take out a piece of paper.